Hey guys, this is Justin at the Survivor Review, and today we'll be talking about episode 3 of season 11 of The X-Files, titled Plus One. Now that was a solid episode. I feel like the season so far is going up an uphill slope where each episode is getting better than the last. And this one, where it's not the greatest, it's not like one of the best episodes of the show, and not one that'll probably be as remembered as time goes on, but it's a really solid, entertaining, old school style X-Files episode, full of strange things happening, Scully being the skeptic and Mulder being the believer. Just, a ton of old school stuff that just made this episode a lot of fun. This episode was actually written by Chris Carter, and that actually surprised me because it wasn't a mess. It was actually a solid script. It was actually really good. There was actually some good lines in there too. Some good Mulder and Scully back and forth that worked really well. It was just really entertaining. I had a lot of fun with this one. So the episode begins at this concert, and you see this one guy just having a blast, having the time of his life, jumping on stage, jumping into the crowd surfing, and then he sees a person who looks just like him. And he tries to go confront that person. The person's not there, so he gets freaked out and he leaves. And on his car ride home, this doppelganger basically appears right next to him, causes his car to crash on the side of the road, but he survives. So Mulder and Scully are investigating this. Of course, Scully's like, well, he was just drunk and that's why he crashed. And Mulder's like, I don't know about that, because he brings up that this is one of many reports of a lot of these crazy parent suicides happening, and a lot of reports are that these people saw another version of them. So it's kind of a bigger thing than what it's leading on to, and they figure out why. It leads them to this mental hospital where they treated a lot of those patients who ended up killing themselves. They come across this one patient named Judy, who plays games of hangman telekinetically with her twin brother, and apparently has a hangman game with the name of that guy who was in that accident. So you see kind of things are coming together, and it's a fun kind of mystery storyline to it. What the best part about this episode is the actress playing Judy, Kim Knovel, who is also known as the mother in the episode Home. It was really cool bringing her back. But that aside, she steals the show. She gives a great performance as Judy, also as her other side, because her character has a split personality, and the other personality is this much darker type of character. And there's a scene where Scully goes to talk to her, and she's flinging poo at her, but not even that. Her performance is very just engaging and just really good. And then she also plays her twin brother. And whereas when I first saw it, I was kind of what? That's a little weird. But once I kind of realized what they were going for, I just went with it, and that character is really over the top and kind of silly, but I don't know, I was entertained by him. I like that. She was the best part of this episode, though, from her dual performance, and not even dual more than that, because she plays, the two sides of Judy and the two sides of her brother, and that was awesome. I thought she was the best part of this entire episode. There's also some good Mulder and Scully moments in this one, too, which leads to some really interesting things that we actually haven't seen yet on this show, because you have a scene between Mulder and Scully in the motel room that they're staying at, and Scully's actually starting to get a little freaked out by this stuff, so she goes and cuddles with Mulder, and you get this really nice scene between them. Okay, well, first it's a little confusing because the major problem with these later seasons of the show is you don't quite exactly understand what their relationship is. They're together, but they're not together, and it's really kind of confusing. But either way, though, they're not together in this episode. We'll just go with that. And they're cuddling together, and Scully's just what's gonna happen, when we're done? When we retire from the FBI, are we ever gonna see each other again? Or are we just gonna go our separate ways? And there's some great character moments where Mulder's just yeah, don't worry, I'll be around to push your wheelchair with my wheelchair. And I love those little moments. Just them cuddling was great. And then she's well, what about families? What if you meet someone? And he's well, what about if you meet someone? Were you gonna want to have another kid? And they discuss that. And then it leads to them actually sleeping together, which is interesting. We never really saw that on this show. But I didn't really expect. I thought, what, it's a good progression. I hope this actually leads to a progression of their relationship and we get a solid, bearing on how they are together, instead of just being oh, they're together, but no, they're not. So I hope future episodes going on after they sleep together basically twice in this episode, because that's how this episode ends too, I hope this means that they're going to be like a couple or something, so they're going to be together and we're going to know what their status is. Though I will say though, is this just me, or does it feel like this episode was supposed to air before last week's? Because last week's episode opens with them in Mulder's house late at night, just like sitting on the couch watching TV and falling asleep together. Basically almost seemingly like they're living together. And then later on when they were talking to Skinner, she tells Skinner that like, oh, we can't even go back to our home. Not our homes plural, but our home singular. And that really confused me last week. I'm like, wait, oh, so they're together? Like right as the episode opened, I was like, are they together? And then she said that line, I was like, oh, they are? But then this episode, they're checking into the motel, and Scully's like, oh, do you have 2 rooms? And then they don't, so Mulder has to sleep on the pull-out bed. And you're like, but they were just in the same house. I don't know. I don't know if that's just me or not, but I feel like the episodes are supposed to be swapped. Because the way this episode ends is kind of the perfect lead-in to that, of them in the house together. I don't know, I found that to be kind of weird. Also, I don't know, just from a writing perspective, I thought it was kind of weird that, like, Scully was affected by evil Judy's line about, like, her being old and she kind of gets, like, self-conscious about her age with Mulder. And I'm like, I don't know, Scully doesn't seem like the kind of character that when an obviously insane woman tells her that she's old and saggy and Mulder doesn't like her, that she would get, like, scared about that and worried about her image. I don't know, that just seemed kind of like not something Scully would really care. I don't think she would have thought that. And if I have to give the previous episode one thing over this one, is that I thought Mulder and Scully's interaction was a lot more fun in that one. It was a lot more like comical and entertaining, whereas this one's a bit more streamlined. But you know what? It works for the storyline. I'm just saying they were a bit more entertaining in the last episode. That's not putting this one down at all or like taking anything away from this one. I still like their interaction in it. Just saying that one had a little bit more stuff to it. And another little flaw is that like Scully is back to her normal skeptical self in this episode. And I get that. That's who she is. Like, she's always going to take the logical and scientific route. Even though she's seen a lot of crazy stuff in the past 25 years, she's still going to start off immediately with that mindset. And that works perfectly in the opening of, like, yeah, this guy was clearly drunk driving, so he says he saw, like, a doppelganger attack him. Like, yeah, he was just drunk. It makes sense. But as the episode progresses, I think she's still a little too skeptical. To where it's like, Scully, you've seen all this stuff, and you became a believer in, like, seasons 8 and 9. Why are you back to being like, yeah, I don't believe any of this crap? To the point where, like, I found it ridiculous where she literally suggested that, like, yeah, maybe the dude did cut his own head off with a sword. And I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, sure, that was a possibility, right. So they're kind of pushing the skeptical Scully a little bit too much, but you know what, it was still fun to see that kind of interaction and like them discussing that stuff and Mulder just being like, it could have been ghosts. Like, of course Mulder would suggest that. Like, that was great. That was a great line. And I did think it was a little silly when the lawyer decided to lock himself up in his house full of swords and even guns, too. And I'm like, you couldn't have just, like, found a motel to hide out in or find a friend to stay with. You had to hide in your house full of stuff that can kill you. So I thought that was kind of silly. But overall, though, I thought this was just a solid, like I said, entertaining, just classic style episode. That is, you know, not going to make any top 10 best lists, but it was a good, like, return to form. And what I was looking forward to in this new season, yeah, I kind of gave up on mythology a little bit. It's a little too muddled and still kind of intrigued with it, but that wasn't what I was looking forward to with this new season. What I was looking forward to was just fun, old school Mulder and Scully cases. And that's what we got in this one. It was solid, it was entertaining. I like a lot of the elements to it. I love the idea of the doppelganger stuff. I think that's really creepy and was really well handled. Just the idea that, like, you're going to be killed by your own self, basically. I thought that was really unique. I liked all that stuff. Whereas I do kind of think the plotline of the telekinetic brother and sister and the doppelganger stuff didn't quite mesh as well. Like, they almost could have been 2 separate episodes of, like, a crazy telekinetic brother and sister and, like, doppelgangers killing people. I still enjoyed both elements for what they were. Like, I liked the telekinetic brother and sister. I thought they were really entertaining. I liked Mulder's interaction with the brother. I thought that was a lot of fun. And again, I love the performances in there. And I love the doppelganger stuff. There's some creepy scenes and there's some creepy shots. I like the scene of Mulder in the bathroom and just, like, in the background his doppelganger comes out of nowhere. And, like, that was an eerie shot. I like all that stuff. It was a fun concept and was well handled. So not only do we get a fun Monster of the Week story, we do get some good character development with Mulder and Scully. We actually get to see their relationship develop and actually kind of understand where they are in their relationship, and I do hope that kind of pays off in future episodes, even though I know standalone episodes tend to be standalone and a lot of times don't really tie into the overarching character development of stuff. So this may just be forgotten about in the next few episodes, which I could totally see happening. But I hope not. I hope they develop that further and we get a better sense of where they're at in their relationship together. But I liked all that stuff. Again, great interaction. Just Mulder and Scully, just perfect. The best reason for the show to be back is just seeing them together. It was just a very solid, entertaining episode.
There's some kind of psychic transference.
I wouldn't rule out ghosts.
So yeah, that's episode 3 of X-Files Season 11. A good back-to-basics style storyline, but with some actual interesting character development and themes going on with Mulder and Scully that all meshes for a very solid and entertaining episode. And that's all I have to say about that, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later.